Hello, everyone. I'm Dalton Burdett,
I'm Nick Ericchio.
and we are the Movie Nights.
Well, some of them.
If you're watching this because you want to hear our uncensored
Unfiltered.
thoughts and opinions on the world of movies and entertainment, so kick back
Relax.
and thank you for being part of the conversation. Guys, if you could have seen me in the past half an hour when I had a power outage that affected the whole. It was one of those power outages where you walk outside and then everyone in the surrounding house walks outside and you're like, oh, it's all of us. Shit. And then you go back inside. This was like minutes before the show was supposed to start. And I'm like, oh, fuck. This isn't good. So I'm texting Nick. I'm like, hey, I'm going to get my hotspot on my phone working. Hannah, my amazing fiance, got me a bunch of like lights and little like fake candles to put in the office just to light me in some way, shape, or form. We get everything going. I go to turn on my hotspot and my phone is magically like, oh, you actually don't have service. I was lying to you this whole time. And so then I just became belligerently pissed. And then literally as I'm in the middle of like a bitch fit, the power comes back. And I was like, oh, thank God. Let's do what we were going to do. So thankfully, we're here. We did it. We're just a little bit late. I'm sorry, everybody. Calixer actually has a point in saying I'm late. By the way, guys, if you want to put in the live chat and become part of the community here, please do it, and I'll pull you up on the screen like so. In between topics, I'll go through some of the little live chats and make you guys part of the discussion, make you guys part of the show. I love doing it. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Calixer even adds, whenever everyone is outside, it's suddenly like a sense of community exists in the world again for a fleeting moment. Yes, when only we can disconnect from our devices and power and join an actual community. What a concept. But yes, we're back. Next, thanks for being here.
Hey, happy to be here. I've been twiddling my thumbs for the last 30 minutes.
What made it worse, too, I had minutes left in the third episode of Alien Earth. Minutes. I had
now
timed
you have like that after commercial break, that little tag on at the end where you're just like, I'm going to have to sit through 2 minutes of commercials for this 30-second scene, but I'm going to finish it.
Yes, and here's the thing. Banger episode. Dude, Alien Earth. Let me just talk about this briefly. Alien Earth has been absolutely fucking banger. For those of you that have not been watching it, it's so good. It's so good. It's from Noah Hawley, the showrunner of the Fargo series and the Legion series. It's been amazing. I've been loving it. 3 episodes now.
Mixed things so far, though.
Listen,
deal with that. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm more inclined to agree with you on most things, just because our taste is very similar. But I have seen that mixed online. What shocked me is that, do you think just people being turned off by, like, I think Noah Hawley has a very distinct style. So maybe is it people just being kind of deterred by his weirdness?
What I've seen so far, though, this is easily the most commercially accessible Noah Hawley's ever been. So, like, easily. And now, granted, I don't know. I don't know if a lot of mixed reactions are from people who've seen the whole show, because I didn't get to watch it early. I just am watching it as it airs. Mm-hmm. And maybe it shits the bed later down the line. I've been really enjoying it. They do a great job playing with the world, playing with the character. Like, when you realize what they're doing with the lead characters, you're like, oh, this is interesting. And then basically what happens is when I clicked play on the first episode, my whole thing was, I can't wait to see how this connects to the Alien franchise. When it started, I was like, I do not give a shit how this connects to the Alien franchise. This is just good. And I'm watching it for what it is. I've been loving it. Hannah's been loving it too.
No, it's definitely on my radar to watch, especially now, like a lot of shows have kind of wrapped up their seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of the only things airing right now are like Peacemaker and Alien Earth. So I'm definitely excited to check both of those out.
Yeah, you didn't watch Peacemaker yet, though.
I did not have the chance to watch Peacemaker yet. Life did not find a way.
It happens. I've seen the first episode. No spoilers, but the first episode's really good. Did not get Peacemaker early either. I didn't ask WB and HBO Max for it. And I could have, and they might have given it to me. But in the past, HBO Max specifically, HBO has always been they give me the most polite no thank yous when I ask for screeners. So I was just like, I'm just not going to bother this time. I don't need the.
I can't take the rejection on this. Well, I know they only showed people like the first 5 episodes, so you binge them and then you're kind of just sitting on your hands for a month waiting to be caught up. So kind of the give and take of that.
And it happens, you know. But anyway, guys, we have a hell of a show for you, and we're going to kick things off with some breaking news. Now, 2 stories have broke for breaking news. One was a few hours ago, around like 2 p.m. Eastern time today. One just happened like an hour ago, and we're going to do that one first. This comes to us from the Insider newsletter. Apparently, at Warner Brothers, in active development is a Kobe Bryant biopic. And of course, as I did that, my whole thing is messed up here. So let me figure that out. It's going to be an amazing show, you guys, I promise. Oh, boy. Nick, I'm cutting to you. Say some fun things.
Well, I could just start kind of going into it if you'd like here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Insider did break it, but it is actually official coming from Variety.
Oh, good.
Kobe Bryant movie in the works at Warner Brothers as the studio nabs a spec script about the Lakers star's dramatic draft day. The project comes from screenwriters Alex Stone and Gavin Johansson. Rumors of the project had piqued the interest of multiple studios and streamers. One source told Variety that Warner Brothers preempted an auction and took the script tentatively titled "With the 8th Pick?" off the table early. Other insiders familiar with the script described the film as Moneyball meets Air. Sold.
Yeah, I'm in. So, guys, as the benefits of doing a live show, you're going to watch me fix this together because I can't do it while it's not on. So, that thing happened again, Nicholas, where Streamlabs decided to just update before I opened it, and we knew we were gonna lose something. Last time we lost my camera. This time we lost the ability to do like the display capture. So we're gonna do that together right now.
I am not a sports person. I'm not a sports follower. Obviously, I know who Kobe Bryant is and sort of the tragedy of what happened to Kobe Bryant. I am not familiar with what the craziness of his draft day is. I'm not familiar with that story. So that does make me interested to see what this is actually about as someone who doesn't really know what happened.
Yeah. No, I'm not familiar with the draft day story either, but obviously I know just what an amazing athlete Kobe Bryant was and the legacy he has with the NBA and how tragic his death was. So, you know, I feel like we're going to get a great story regardless. And it's also from the King Richard producers, and that was a great film. So I'm hoping that we can get another great film in our hands there. Before we move on to our next breaking news story, Elixir says it's an omen, everything that's happening. I agree. This next breaking news story is very interesting, but it also came with a hilarious tweet. And I'm just going to pull it up for you right now. Karen Gillan officially joins the Highlander reboot. That's a lot of fun. That's the Highlander reboot that stars Henry Cavill and is being directed by Chad Stahelski of John Wick fame. Highlander, if you're unfamiliar, is something that is incredibly Scottish, which Karen Gillan is. And when the article broke, she simply tweeted, "The dialect coach can sit this one out." And that made me laugh really hard when I was at work, and I got a good kick out of that. So that's how you make an announcement right there.
Yeah, you know, I've never seen the original Highlander, but this is just a movie that slowly, with every new news story that comes out about it, in terms of casting, in terms of talent directing, it has piqued my interest more and more. I mean, I'm very excited about the concept of Chad Stahelski directing this. I really want Henry Cavill to have a win under his belt. I know he's got a few, but like this, he's also been screwed over pretty frequently in the past, so I just want him to have a nice opportunity here. He's reteaming with Russell Crowe, which made me very excited as well on top of that. And now you're adding Karen Gillan, who I think is a terrific actress. I think she's hysterical. I think all of her like sort of red carpet press is always very entertaining. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a great cast to have with it. And the Scottish tweet is just proof of that.
No, I agree. And now we got the dog going crazy. It's going to be an amazing live show, guys. The universe does not want it to happen, but that means we got to make it happen. So we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it, guys. Next, we're going to be talking about some trailer thoughts. And to make the show even funnier, this first trailer I didn't even watch. So, Nicholas, I'm going to throw it over to you when I pull this over here. Oh, the first trailer that we're going to talk about today is a trailer for the highly anticipated Season 2 of Fallout. This is a huge hit on Amazon, obviously based on the video game series. The first season came out and had a lot of critical acclaim. It had high viewership, so naturally season 2 was going to be coming imminently with streaming, and we can't have nice things, so it took a little bit of a gap there, but not as big as we normally see. I know that Jonathan Nolan is a director on the series. I don't believe he writes on the series, unfortunately, but Nick, did you get a chance to see the trailer for Fallout Season 2?
I did. I really enjoyed the trailer. I was a fan of the first season. I wouldn't say I overtly loved it. I also didn't overtly hate it. I was kind of just lukewarm, skewing positive on it. I've played a few of the games sporadically here, but I'm not really kind of up to date. You know, I'm not really trenched in the lore of it all. But there was a lot of stuff that I wish I had saw, and a lot of stuff that I was interested in seeing them go to. Mainly, obviously, the New Vegas storyline being kind of a bigger direction that you want to see the story go in, as it's one of the most popular games in the entire series. So naturally, I thought that was a great jumping off point for the second season. It's kind of showing a lot. You know, one criticism of the first season was the lack of a Deathclaw in it, and they very much make sure that you know that the Deathclaw is going to be popping up in here. You have Justin Theroux joining the cast. It looks like he's going to be kind of the villain of the season, which is going to be very exciting. I think he's a great actor, and I really like Ella Purnell as the lead in this role as Lucy McCain.
Lucy McCain is Die Hard.
Then her name might not be Lucy in this. I might be forgetting. Could someone correct me?
Yes, the live chat. Help us out.
And obviously, Walton Goggins. I will watch whatever Walton Goggins does until the day he or I dies, whichever's first. But if Walton Goggins is in something, by golly, I'm going to watch it. So, I mean, all positive. I think there was a great tone setting for it. It seemed like a little bit of a shift. It looked like a bigger budget, a bigger scale, a bigger scope. So I'm really excited to hope it plays out. And I kind of just hope they work through a lot of kind of those like writing story kinks that they had in the first one.
Yeah, no, it sounds interesting. So with the first season for me, I watched the pilot episode and I thought to myself, that was neat. And then I just never continued watching the show. Like, it wasn't on purpose. Like, I watched the pilot. I was like, oh, interesting. I'm going to give this a shot. And then life happened. I don't know if that ever happens to people who watch, like, shows where you watch something. You're like, oh, that was good. And then you just never continue. That's what happened with me. I think that if I'm going to go back and watch the trailer from all the positive things you've said about it, and then maybe it'll finally give me the kick to binge season 1 and then get ready for season 2. Calixer in the live chat is saying, honestly, the trailer has me trying to convince myself the first season was good. So that tells me that the trailer must be very good.
It's a very well put together trailer. It gives you just enough teases for what they want to go through. And I did look it up. It is Lucy McCain.
So it's also from Die Hard. That's cool.
It is also from... I think they spell it different, though.
They probably do. But that's cool. That's cool. Well, guys, what did you think for the trailer for Fallout Season 2? Let us know in the comments as we move on to the next trailer we're going to talk about. And this trailer kind of came out of nowhere for me. And I didn't even think about watching it or making it part of the show. And I'll be completely honest, here's what happened. I was at work and I was bored. And I saw that the trailer came out and I was like, I got 2.5 minutes to kill, whatever. The trailer we're talking about is for a film called Heeda. This is coming to Amazon Prime in October. It's a shame it probably won't go to theaters. However, selfishly, usually when Amazon lets us screen stuff early, they do give us theatrical ones. So I'm hoping, selfishly, that we get to watch it in theaters. This film is directed by Nia DaCosta. Nia DaCosta is the director of the Candyman reboot. She's the director of The Marvels, and she's the director of the upcoming 28 Years Later sequel, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Holy shit, this trailer's good. This trailer is really good. And I was like literally at work, didn't feel like watching it, just saw that it came up. I was like, whatever. Click play. Dude, I was in. As soon as the trailer started, I was like, yo, this. Basically, it looks like a heavy stylized drama period piece. With some love triangles, some danger, some possible murder mystery. Like, it's teasing all kinds of stuff going on. But as it was going, I was like, whoa. I'm in. We're good. You got me. I'm going to watch the movie. Tessa Thompson plays the lead role. I think she's a phenomenal actor. I can't wait for this. I was blown away. by the trailer. Did you get a chance to see it? And if so, what'd you think?
I did. So, believe me or not, earlier this week, I was literally thinking of texting you just because we kind of just throw random stuff out to each other. And one thing I was going to text you was just like, what happened to Tessa Thompson? Where's she been? And I was literally going to send that. And then I saw this trailer for this movie, and I was like, oh, that's where she's been. I actually watched the trailer right before we started the show. And obviously, I put together the PowerPoint, I link it, I put the images in. And I'm just like, all right, I guess she's doing a little period piece drama, like just something chillax, right? We're going to do some acting. We're going to have some galas. And then they hit play. And by the end of the trailer, I'm just like, what the hell am I watching? I'm going to be there. Yes. I can't wait to watch this.
Dude.
I don't know what I watched, but I know I loved it.
Yes, that's exactly how I felt.
I liked the vibe. And then I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even see that Nia DaCosta was directing it until... the trailer happened, and I literally sat up I did the DiCaprio meme just in my office where I'm like, it's Nia DaCosta? Okay, let's do this. All right, sold. Yeah. Bring her back. She got done dirty in the Marvels. Go nuts. Let's see Bone Temple. Let's get the rise of Nia DaCosta going again.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. And this seems like a movie that she got to kind of creatively release on after kind of going through a bunch of corporate stuff with Candyman and Marvel, so I'm hoping that she got to make a really great film out of this. And this is a film that I was not on my radar at all, and now I'm really looking forward to it. So, guys, did you get a chance to see the trailer for Heeda? If so, what did you think? Let us know in the comments as we move on to the last trailer that we're going to talk about. I believe it was last episode on the show, we had talked about the first look images of the GOAT, Daniel Day-Lewis, returning in a film called Ameone that his son is directing. And we were like, hey, when the GOAT's back, you got to be looking forward to it. Got to be on the lookout. Well, the first trailer for Ameone was released. And I got to say, I'm digging the vibe. It looks like a creepy thriller movie, which I wasn't really expecting. And it also says Daniel Day-Lewis co-wrote the script, which shocked me. So I'm wondering what that's about. But acting-wise, oh my God. It's the GOAT, it's Daniel Day-Lewis, and it's Sean Bean sitting in a room talking. You could have just made that a 5-second trailer. I would have been like, all right, it has my money, my tickets, I'm going. I got to see this. And even just from the little bit that you get in this trailer, you just go, God damn it, I miss Daniel Day-Lewis. As soon as he started doing weird shit, I was like, there he is. There's my guy. But the trailer had a good creepy vibe, though. It really did. It really did. But did you get a chance to see the trailer and what you think?
I did. I don't know how I felt about it. There was a lot of weird shit going on. I don't know what I expected from the movie. And I don't know what I was expecting of what would get Daniel Day-Lewis back on screen. It didn't feel like that was this. Mm-hmm. But maybe there's more we're seeing. I think his son directed it. Obviously, he co-wrote it, so I guess it makes sense that he would want to act in it. It intrigued me. It piqued my interest. I wasn't vibing with it as much as I did the other two trailers we talked about. Mm-hmm. But immediately, just as soon as he starts acting, you're like, even just from a trailer, you're just like, man, it's on another level. So I'm going to watch it just because you got to watch it because it's Daniel Day-Lewis, and I hope that, maybe it is something that grabs me as we go through. Sean Bean, I can't speak right now. Sean Bon.
Sean Bon.
Sheen Bean. It looks like they had a good dynamic going. It looks like there's a little brother rivalry there. So, listen, I'm going to check it out.
Sheen Bean. Oh, I needed that. My tired brain needed that. Guys, did you get a chance to see the trailer? Are you excited for Daniel Day-Lewis to be back? Let us know in the comments. And next up, we're going to be diving into our top news stories. But before we do that, our short film quiver is available for purchase on Apple TV and Google TV, and it's available to vote for on Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, Letterboxd. If you've seen it, go show it some love on those platforms, and if you haven't seen it, give it a purchase. It's only 30 minutes. It's $3. Why not? You got this. We worked hard on it. We're really proud of it. With that, we're going to dive into our big movie news stories from last week. Nicholas, when I talk about my favorite actors working today, actresses specifically, who do I often bring up?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yes.
I was trying to think of a funny answer, and then I couldn't.
We didn't even practice that, and you nailed it. Now, when I talk about GOAT actresses of all time, who do I typically bring up?
GOAT actresses?
Mm-hmm.
Meryl Streep.
Yes, dude. Wow, we nailed that. Yes. What if I told
you?
I
know the story.
What if I told you there's a movie coming out where they both play the same character? And not only are they both playing the same character, but it's a biopic. And that biopic, ladies and gentlemen, is on Joni Mitchell. This comes to us from the Insider newsletter that I believe was later confirmed by the trades. Anya Taylor-Joy and Meryl Streep will play an older and younger versions of Joni Mitchell. It'll be directed by Cameron Crowe, which honestly is one of my favorite parts of the story. Miss Cameron Crowe. Love that guy. Crowe previously profiled Mitchell for a 1979 Rolling Stone cover story, which is crazy. Now, what's exciting about this is obviously Joni Mitchell was a very famous musician, and Anya Taylor-Joy, I believe the only film she sang in was Last Night in Soho, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this is a chance for her to show off those skills again, which is very interesting and very fun, because I thought she did a good job in Last Night in Soho. And for Meryl Streep, obviously, it just immediately puts accolades and awards attention on your project. And you have Cameron Crowe coming back, which is just outstanding. This has all the makings for an incredible movie. It is, however, going to be a musical biopic, so you have the tropes that are likely going to come with that. Maybe we'll see how they can avoid them. But I'm going to throw it over to you. What do you think of this? Are you excited?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to walk around here and say that I'm a big Joni Mitchell fan. Not that I don't dislike her music, you know what I mean? But just kind of the interest of a biopic, sure. They're making them all for everybody, so why not? But I think that Anya Taylor-Joy is a terrific actress. I think Meryl Streep is one of the best to ever do it. You can cast Meryl Streep as Batman, and it's the right choice. Is a quote from Modern Family that I love. So, I mean, you have talent attached to it. I like the idea, though, of a biopic, too, kind of showing that wide range of the life of the person, because a lot of times we're kind of singling out a moment in time, a singular event, or only a couple year period. So the idea of kind of even flashback and forth, I think, is a very interesting take on it, and something we haven't really seen done a lot in these biopics. So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, listen, no, you bring up a lot of great points. Before we move on to our next story with this, though, there's some movement in the live chat that I'm going to address really quick. Let me just get this up and running here. Calixer going crazy, figuring out who Joni Mitchell is, and then he adds, but why is Anya Taylor-Joy playing the younger version? Should be Amanda Seyfried. Little reunion for Mamma Mia there. She basically did an open audition on Fallon. I don't care that she did an open audition. I believe Anya Taylor-Joy is the much better actor. Not that Amanda Seyfried is a bad actor. I think she's actually really underrated. She kind of gets overlooked as kind of like this playful poppy actor. I think she's better than that. But, Anya Taylor-Joy, I think, is a better actor. I think with the power of makeup and costuming, you can transform her when it gives the actor something to latch onto with the character. In a world where Joseph Gordon-Levitt played a younger Bruce Willis, I think anything is possible. And that is...
Is that a Looper reference?
That was a Looper reference, yes.
I like Looper.
Looper's good?
I like Looper.
Looper's good.
Wasn't Amanda Seyfried in the running, too, to be, Wicked, Ariana Grande?
She might have been.
I thought I read that somewhere, that she was, one of the finalists.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know the weight to that, but I feel like I maybe saw that. Maybe it was a fan casting. I don't know.
Maybe. Perhaps. Now we're going to move on to our next news story from last week involving this guy. We all love Jason Momoa. He's the best. When this story happened, I texted Nick, because we have like a little chat on Twitter X where we'll send each other news stories like from whatever trade. And then sometimes if it's big enough, like if it's a small thing, we'll be like, oh, put this in the B-roll or put this in breaking news, like if it happens day of. Or sometimes, rarely, I send a story and then I say, main topic story contender. And this was a contender for the main topic story. And if we didn't have a bigger story that happens later, this arguably could have been it. We considered it. Nick, something that you've often said that you believe is missing from the movie landscape is more pirate movies. You've mentioned this more than once on several occasions.
I said a predator should fight a pirate. Pirates should fight a predator recently when we did that conversation.
Yes, I agree with you completely. Well, another story from the Insider newsletter comes out. I can't even believe I'm saying this, bro. Jason Momoa and David Leitch are teaming for a pirate film that's being described as The Raid set on a pirate ship. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, do you know how easy it is to get me to watch your movie? It's this. It's that. You say, it's The Raid with pirates. Fuck everything else that's going on in my life. I gotta stop what I'm doing and watch this. Like this is all that matters to me right now. They're doing The Raid. Nick.
How big is this pirate ship?
I was about to say, what if it's a big fucking ship and the dude wakes up underneath and he's got to get to the top. And then when he gets to the top, it's swashbuckling action. And this is the guy that was one of the co-directors on John Wick. He directed Hobbs and Shaw. He directed Deadpool 2. He directed The Fall Guy. This guy knows how to have some fun. And Atomic Blonde. Remember Atomic Blonde? He made that
Never saw
too.
It.
You never saw Atomic Blonde?
I never saw Atomic Blonde.
Bro, we were living together. How did you not see that?
I managed to escape it.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked right now. Listen, is it a great movie? No. The action's unbelievable. Like next level. Unbelievable.
I believe this.
James McAvoy? Charlize Theron? I'm shocked with you. I can't believe this right now.
You're naming all the words that pique my interest.
I'm shocked on the verge of outrage. This is unbelievable. Anyway, more news stories. Obviously, we said that David Leitch previously directed Bullet Train and Fall Guy. Amazon MGM has required the package. If you guys don't put this bitch in a movie theater, I will never forgive you. Like, I've had my quarrels with streaming movies before. If you fuck me with this, I swear to God, if you rob me the chance to see this and cheer with a room of crowded strangers who are also cheering at pirates, I swear to Christ, Amazon, I'm going to be so upset. Please don't do this.
I think they know better than to put Jason Momoa on.
Do they? Do they?
Okay, listen.
Roadhouse went to streaming.
Amazon has been making some big moves, though. And I think they're going to be the ones to embrace theatrical over the other ones. I think they're going to be much more theatrical friendly than Netflix.
Everyone's more theatrical friendly than Netflix.
Correct, but Amazon has been acquiring deals like this left and right with creators. Oh. And I don't think David Leitch is one to go make a straight to streaming service movie.
No, but neither did Doug Liman, which we heard about. But also
got screwed.
An important thing I want to point out here. Will Dunn, the writer, recently wrote The Peasant, which is in production with Dev Patel, who is starring and directing the film with A24. So obviously some talent attached there. Something that's funny about the story, too, is that it said that Jason Momoa is attached as a producer with hopes to star. And it's like, bro, he's starring, and they said, we'll give you a producer credit. Come on. Like, Jason Momoa, they didn't go to Jason Momoa like, please, we need your connections to help get the sets built. No, come on.
He's also someone that has multiple billion-dollar movies under his belt.
And when you look at him, you just think pirate. You know, like
I think a lot of things when I think of him, but yeah, pirate.
Hey, listen.
I loved it. He's just a cool dude. You see him, he's so high energy. He's so fun. He's always just trying to have a good time. He understood the assignment completely in the last Fast and Furious movie. He was the only one who knew what he was in, and he absolutely crushed it. I would even argue he was the only one who knew what he was doing in the Minecraft movie.
Perhaps.
But yeah, he's got a show airing on Apple apparently right now too. I found that out.
Yep. Listen, I want to watch this so bad.
I mean, David Leitch movie. I'm there. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Calixer in the live chat just says, "Take my money," and then follows it up with, "I hear the raid, I watch." Listen, same. Oh, I can't believe that movie is really happening, guys. Are you excited about that? What do you think? Let us know in the comments as we move on to our next story. And this next one, I just want to give you a quick Beatles jump scare. There you go. And Greig Fraser is arguably one of the best cinematographers working today. Was that a fair thing to say?
I would say so, yes.
He's an Oscar winner. He shot films such as Dune Part 2, The Batman, other really great films. Well, it has recently been revealed in World of Real through, I believe it was an interview with Josh Brolin and Kevin McCarthy, where it's been revealed that Greig Fraser is shooting all 4 Beatles biopic films, in which we reported on the show talking about how each Beatle was going to be getting their own film directed by Sam Mendes. We know this is old news. All being shot by Greig Fraser. That leaves a couple things in the air, which is what we're going to dive into with the story. But first of all, these Beatles movies are about to look good as fuck, dude. They're about to look real good. But here's the problem that it kind of causes. This means he's not shooting Dune 3 and likely not shooting The Batman the Part 2 as a result. Roger Deakins had initially been offered to shoot them, but declined. And Roger Deakins, the GOAT cinematographer, arguably, and he works with Sam Mendes all the time, but this time he said no. And I like what you added here because I was actually going to bring this up to you. Will Deakins take over for Batman or Dune? I don't think that's impossible. Here's the thing. Logic would tell you Dune, because I believe he's worked with Denis Villeneuve before in the past, Roger Deakins. However, Roger Deakins also has a podcast, I don't know if you know this, where he talks about cinematography. It's very interesting. And one of his famous episodes of his podcasts is him ranting and raving. Nick disappeared. It's okay. Roger Deakins got him. You're back. One of the famous episodes of his podcast is him ranting and raving that the Batman Part 2 didn't get a cinematography nomination, or that the Batman, didn't get a cinematography nomination. So, it would be kind of funny if he went and did the Batman, because he was like, that first one looks so good, I can't let someone else go in there and fuck it up. I feel like he honestly feels that way about it. Now, Dune Part 3 already has a cinematographer. I believe it's going to be the cinematographer of La La Land is shooting Dune Part 3.
Oh, okay. But I didn't realize they had a cinematographer attached to it already.
Yes, but they haven't started yet. Anything can happen.
That's true.
Logic could have pointed to Deakins, considering he's worked with Denis Villeneuve before. I don't think it's crazy to think that Roger Deakins could shoot Batman Part 2. This is just pure, like, pulling this out of air. Like, this isn't a rumor. This isn't, like, being reported on. I don't think it's crazy, though. And I think we should keep an eye on that story, on who's going to be shooting Batman Part 2, because I wouldn't be surprised if it's Deakins. What are your thoughts on Greig Fraser shooting these movies, and what do you think about the issues it causes with other franchises?
Well, one, I agree. I think he's probably one of the best cinematographers working today, so I think it's always very excited when he attaches himself to a project. And in this case, he went for the job security of 4 projects instead of 1, which I don't think I can blame the man there. And I think it's a smart move from the Beatles biopic. I saw a lot of things online like, oh, they should all be different tonally, they should all look different, but I don't think that's kind of what they're going for. I think they want to tell a story and dedicate the time and resources to telling each individual Beatles story. Obviously, Sam Mendes is directing all four, so I think having the same director and team behind it, especially behind the camera with Greig Fraser, I think makes the most logical sense because every cinematographer is different. They're going to approach things differently. Yes, they are showcasing the director's vision, but there are little nuances there that I think you could tell between each movie that someone else has shot it. So I think it makes sense that he's doing that. It does sadden me because I think Dune 2 and Batman are two of the best looking movies I've seen in a long time. And I do agree that the Batman should have gotten a Oscar nomination for cinematography. But that being said, I'd be excited about the idea of Roger Deakins doing it. I mean, who doesn't want to go shoot a Batman movie? Especially, especially if he's spoken that highly on it in the past. And I get why maybe Roger Deakins didn't want to go into it. He's old. He's got his Oscars. Not that he's slowing down because he's old, but 4 movies, that is a large commitment, and maybe he just didn't want to dedicate the time to do that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I don't blame him at all for turning that down. It's crazy that Deakins didn't win an Oscar until Blade Runner 2. And if he would have lost for Blade Runner 2, that would have been some fucking bullshit. Because that movie is gorgeous. But yes, guys, what do you think about Greig Fraser directing all 4 Beatles movies, and which leaves the Batman Part 2 up for grabs, and has the La La Land cinematographer taking on Dune 3? Let us know in the comments as we move on to our next story. And this next one, I forced Nick to make part of the show. So, Season 2 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians comes out, I believe, this December. And they want to try to prevent the typical streaming thing, which happened with Season 1 and 2, of having years in between seasons because these kids are growing up rapidly, and they want to try to get the stories out while they have them young. They announced, which we said on the last episode, that Season 3 of Percy Jackson is already filming, so they can get it out by next December and try to keep that 1 year between seasons a thing. Well, there's been some new casting announcements from Percy Jackson Season 3. You might recall who this person is here. This is Dafne Keen, who played X-23, Laura, in both Logan and Deadpool and Wolverine. And in Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Season 3, The Titan's Curse, she will be playing Artemis, which is awesome as hell, which is why we have to do the story.
Oh boy, I never put text for that story.
It's all good, buddy. I got you covered.
Whoops.
This is awesome that she gets to play Artemis, who's obviously a famous Greek goddess of, hunting and the moon, I believe. However, also as part of that story, an actor named Sarah Chandri is also joining the cast, and she will be playing Zoe Nightshade, who is, if you've read The Titan's Curse, is also a big character in that book. So we have Artemis and Zoe officially in Percy Jackson Season 3. I wanted to make this a story not only because that's a big character if you're a fan of that show and a fan of that series, but also Dafne Keen. I see you. I see you making moves. She obviously was also on, oh my God, what was that Golden Compass show they did on HBO Max? Oh my God. What was that show called? If anyone in the live chat knows what that show was based off the Golden Compass series they did for HBO, let me know, because she was on that, and I heard that she was really good on it. Then she was in The Acolyte, ill-fated Star Wars show, but I thought that she did a really excellent job, and I didn't think the show was as bad as people said it was. But she continues to grow as an actor and try to get into more things, make a name for herself, especially when you're really good in something really young, you kind of have to battle for what you can do next. And her taking on something like this, one, it stays within the Disney family because, Deadpool and Wolverine, Disney film technically. So she's getting that money. Good for you, Dafne. But I think it's just a very interesting move for her to play a Greek goddess on this Disney Plus show. And I'm wondering how her career is going to go from this moment. I was just very like my eyebrows perked up by the casting of like, okay, Dafne Keen, this is not the career move I expected you to make. I can't remember if you're that familiar at all with the actual book or the series, but when you hear that Dafne Keen's going to be playing a role like this, what do you think about it? You know, where does your brain kind of go?
Yeah, so I looked it up too. The show you were talking about was His Dark Materials.
Thank you. Oh my God, I was gonna literally lose my mind if I couldn't get that.
So I have not watched Percy Jackson season 1, and I have only read the first 2 books. So I really don't have anything to say on this. I don't know the character outside of obviously the actual Greek goddess Artemis. You know. I don't know how her role plays into like the Titan's Curse and the movies moving forward. I haven't seen His Dark Materials. I have not seen The Acolyte. So really all I can speak to is Logan, which I thought she gave an absolutely terrific performance in, especially for being that young, her first major movie, a pretty much non-English speaking role for a majority of it. To then come back into Deadpool and Wolverine. I thought, you know, she had a small role in it, but I thought she did a great job with it. But it wasn't anything where I'm like, oh, she's a terrific actress walking out of this. Not bad actress, but just kind of, you know, she did a great job. So she's a name I know, so I'm excited to see her getting work. But I wish I had more to say about the topic.
No, all good. Like I said, I forced you to make this a story just so I could talk about the topic. So thank you for indulging me there. What do you guys think?
Like Artemis's role.
So it's a complicated one. So in the Titan's Curse, essentially, the gang kind of has to go. The curse that you end up mild spoilers if you don't want to hear about a book that came out over a decade ago. But the Titan's Curse they're talking about is Atlas. And they get put into a situation where they might have to hold up the world themselves. And Artemis is each book introduces new gods to either help them or get in their way while they're going on their quests. And Artemis is that god in this book. It's been a long time since I've read it, but that's the...
but it's a prominent role for season 3, essentially, or that third book. Okay.
Yeah, and each time a god is introduced, they come back later. So when you're casting this, you're also casting her for the final season as well. It's kind of the game you're playing.
Villain or more hero, anti-hero, morally gray?
Gray.
Gray, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, mostly a hero, but gray.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. Guys, what do you think about Dafne Keen playing Artemis in the upcoming season of Percy Jackson? Let us know in the comments as we move on to our main topic story. 43 minutes in, not bad. There's a really great actor by the name of Tramell Tillman, who recently came into fame from the Severance television show, which I still need to watch. Please don't hurt or kill me. I've just been busy. I'm sorry. But absolute scene-stealing performance in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Oh my goodness. He was so good in that, on the submarine. Obviously, this actor's been rising to fame, and it's been recently announced that he is one of the many people who has been cast in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So naturally, the discussion becomes, who the fuck is he going to play? That's what everyone's trying to figure out right now. And what we do know is that it's a villainous role, probably not the lead villain, but a villainous role. That's kind of the report in the trade. No indication as to who he's playing, though. And another casting that's been rumored, now this he's confirmed, one that's rumored to be occurring is Daniel RPK is reporting that Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh's Yelena, will be in Brand New Day as well, which makes things even more interesting. But we'll get into that in a second. For now, I want to get to Tramell Tillman and talk about the confirmed actor in the movie. As we mentioned, he's in Severance, Mission Impossible. The role's being kept under wraps along with the characters played by Sadie Sink and Liza Colin-Zayas. Set to release on July 31st, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, which we all know. And then here comes the age-old question, Nick. Who do we think he's playing? I'm going to throw it over to you first.
Big Wheel.
Big Wheel. Oh Oh my
No,
God.
I mean there's a lot of potential, a lot of opportunity. I could see him maybe even just being kind of like the department, Department of Damage Control running around, like kind of an agent for that. I could see him maybe playing some sort of law enforcement officer, maybe going after, maybe tied to like the Punisher storyline.
Okay.
I think that, what I would like him to play is Norman Osborn. Because we have with Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, they kind of said that it's not exactly one-to-one with the MCU Spider-Man, but it is fairly close. And you have a great performance, a vocal performance by Coleman Domingo
Yes.
in the animated series. And I think that Tramell Tillman would be an excellent transition into that.
I agree. Yeah. My only issue with that is in Spider-Man No Way Home, Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn says when he got to that world that his house isn't there and that Oscorp doesn't exist. So now I know that there's a 3-year time jump from No Way Home to Brand New Day.
Yeah.
And it's possible that within that time jump, Norman Osborn rose to fame and has stayed famous. Sure. I hope we see that in the rumored opening montage that we're going to get. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling that they would want to build up Norman Osborn, and I don't think this movie has time to do that.
But it might have time to tease it.
Might have time to tease it, which is very true.
Might have time to tease it with him, and then you get a bigger role expanded in the second one. Because you don't cast Tramell Tillman for a brief appearance.
No, but
it lead to something bigger.
If you're doing Norman Osborn, it would have to be... It happened within the 3-year time gap, and he is now Norman Osborn, leader of Oscorp, famous guy. Yeah. Like, I'm not really interested. Now, they can prove me wrong with the storytelling, but I'm not really interested in Norman starting on the ground and becoming Norman Osborn. Like, I don't care. Make him Norman Osborn. And unless they're going to do that and establish that this is a new person, because then you also have to bring in the fact that Peter knows a Norman Osborn from another place that killed his aunt. And you have to play that into it as well. And so, which for all we know could be the plot of the movie, it just doesn't seem like it from the other details that we have. Now, would he make a fantastic Norman Osborn? Yes. Yes, he would.
He'll make fantastic anything, first
Correct. But it is an interesting theory.
Yeah.
I kind of see him more along the lines of playing a Tombstone. I think that for a movie, you could age him up compared to the cartoon, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And Tombstone has been a villain that's rumored to appear at least in an opening montage or be a part of the movie along with Scorpion. And it would not shock me if he was playing the role of Tombstone, not only because is that a very, recognizable comic book character to the diehard fans, but also as an actor, there's really no live action interpretation that's been done, so you can really come in and really make it your own and have some fun with it. And I think that would appeal to an actor like him. So I would not be shocked if Tombstone is the role that he ends up playing. I think that would be very interesting as well. Do you know?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, any other characters you think he could be playing?
I do. Let me throw this one out to you. Again, going along the lines of teasing in this movie for a larger role down the line. We don't know who Liza Colin-Zayas from The Bear is playing in the movie. Do we have Jefferson and Rio Morales? And they will be Miles' parents, and they're going to kind of build up into a Miles storyline like we've talked about before, of maybe that's the direction this trilogy is going, is you kind of get the team up of Miles and Peter in the stories moving forward, especially post Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out.
So it all comes down to, do we believe Kevin Feige? And what I mean by that is, when we reported a few episodes ago that Kevin Feige was basically doing a roundtable of interviews, and someone asked him about Miles Morales, and he straight up said, like, nope, we've been told by Sony to stay away from him until his movies are done, the Spider-Verse movies are done. And even so, with Donald Glover in Homecoming, they deleted a scene where he calls Miles. So it's like okay, they have been kind of tiptoeing. The closest thing we got was having Prowler in Homecoming, and then having MCU Prowler show up in Across the Spider-Verse. Like, that was like the closest thing we got to it being live action. I think as a fan, if I get a movie where we get Miles' dad, Miles' mom, maybe in that opening montage sequence that's rumored, we get him fighting Prowler. And it's like, and so we get his mom, his dad, his aunt, but we don't get Miles. I'd be very upset. And I just don't think Miles is showing up in the movie. And if he is, it's at the very, very end.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, maybe the end is you tease Miles through a tease of the dad.
Mm-hmm. It could work. It really could work. I don't think that's a bad theory at all. It would just come down to, is Kevin Feige lying or was he full of shit? And it's because they're trying to hide this. It's a great theory.
I do love the idea of him playing Tombstone, though. I think that's a very interesting casting to go down.
Yeah, I think it could be cool.
I could see him being kind of that mafioso boss, right? The nice, big, burly, like pinstripe suit. I like it. As long as he has the same line deliveries from Mission Impossible. If I could see him tell Spider-Man, "Are you out of your damn mind?" Done. Get a little defiant jazz going in there. You call it a day.
That'd be awesome. Before we move on from this topic, we got to bring up the question of Yelena being rumored to be in it. And I'm going to just say with my chest, I fully believe this. And the reason I do is because as someone who's followed Daniel RPK for a long time, he tends to only do things on his Patreon. And then it gets onto the internet from his Patreon. He just publicly tweeted this. Like, by the way, this is happening. And I don't think he does that unless he's fully confident that this is going on. So for that reason alone, I'm like, all right, I believe it. It could not be true. It is rumored. But I kind of wanted to throw it to you. If Yelena's in this movie, what do we think her role is going to be? And also, is there anyone else we think could be popping up in this film?
I do think I talked about Tramell being kind of a tease at the end there. I think Yelena is the tease at the end. Because I think she's part of the new Avengers, and I think they're going to be looking for recruits. And I bet after the events of this, I bet she's trying to recruit Spider-Man. Other than that, I that's what I'm choosing to believe, because every single time a Spider-Man movie comes out with Tom Holland, all this stuff starts coming out, and every time I get so worried, I'm like, they're doing too much. This movie's going to be overstuffed. What do you mean you have Prowler and Scorpion and two Shockers and the Tinkerer and Vulture all in your movie? What do you mean that you have Mysterio fighting with elementals and also Nick Fury's there, and there may or may not be Skrulls, and then we think Chameleon's going to show up, and he's also traveling around the world, and then you have No Way Home where there's just everybody. And every time there's an MCU Spider-Man movie, I'm like, they're doing too much. And every time I'm proven wrong. And I'm beginning to go down that rabbit hole again of, like, we have Scorpion. There's maybe Mr. Negative, Hulk. There's Punisher. Now we have Tramell Tillman running around. Yeah, let's throw Florence Pugh in there. Why not?
I definitely see the concern, but it does happen every time. That's so funny.
It's every time.
And I think the difference between something like this and like the MCU Spider-Man movies and something like a previous, like before MCU Spider-Man movies, is what Marvel likes to do is they like to just replace standard goons in a chase scene with D-list villains, C-list villains. So when you hear that all these villains are in a movie, they're just playing like these random goons. So it's like, oh, when you watch it at the end of the day, you're like, oh, okay, it wasn't overstuffed at all. They were just kind of side goons that they used comic book characters for. But still, when you just hear like the list of people in the movie, you're like, oh, Jesus, what's going on?
Well, yeah, like Matt Gargan wasn't Scorpion. Why am I blanking on Prowler's name? But
Aaron Davis?
Aaron Davis was just Aaron Davis, And it's fun little teases, but then you tease it to me and I want it. And now we're finally getting the payoff. We got the payoff of Donald Glover's Prowler with his brief cameo in Spider-Verse. And now it is confirmed that, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name right now? Scorpion.
Michael Mando.
Michael Mando is coming back as Scorpion, as confirmed. So they are paying off those things. It's just, is Shocker still running around? Is he going to pop up?
Dude, if they give me Shocker in the suit,
That's what I mean. Is Tinker back? Tinker the one making Scorpion's new outfit? How does that work? Where does Scorpion get it from? In the show, I like that it was Doc Ock, but they already have Vulture and Tinker set up. So I could see that. Fuck it, is Vulture going to come back? I could see Vulture coming back if he's not stuck in the Morbius universe.
Not stuck in,
It's just one of those things where they're throwing a lot at it, but then you watch it and you're like, oh, Hulk's going to be in it. Hulk's probably just going to end up being a professor at Peter's College, and it's just going to be like a brief little thing. You know, you think he's big? You think he's like pivotal to it?
I think you put him in this movie to make him Savage Hulk, so that way you can have Savage Hulk back for Doomsday.
Yeah, that, you know.
But does that make too much sense? That's the issue.
But you have to now be careful you're not just retreading the third act of Brave New World.
I don't care. do it again. Do it better. That's fine. Who said it's the third act? Do it in the beginning.
if I see Hulk just fling Punisher into orbit, that's fine.
Dude. And it's the Bernthal scream, but it gets quieter as he's thrown. So it's like,
you know. And that's not even getting into the Sadie Sink of it all.
Oh, hold on. Before you continue, X-Punisher is back in the chat and says, just give me Kitty Pryde. That's exactly what X-Punisher said last time. X-Punisher, I hope they give you Kitty Pryde. I hope they do. If I'm in the theater and Kitty Pryde's in this movie, I'm literally going to think about you, X-Punisher. I'm literally going to be like, they did it. They did it.
We will find you. We will pray every time that you join our live chat so we can talk about Kitty Pryde. Yes.
Oh, man. Can I tell you something that makes me sad? Sorry, I'll let you go and say what you think in a minute.
You're good.
They can't do Morris Bench. And that just makes me sad.
They cannot do Morris Bench. They could.
Listen, buddy. I would love it if they did Morris Bench.
That is fully a throwaway line for
the Hydro Man.
People. No one would care.
Yeah, because listen, we got the quote real Mandarin. Remember, we could get the real Hydro Man. We can do it if we believe hard enough.
You're taking a dive.
Just to create that cover of his first appearance where he's in that just like shirt and shorts and it's just water arms. Just give it to me.
I have that first appearance. I think you do too, right?
I do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I think would be an interesting route to go, and I'm not a screenwriter. I'm not a story person, obviously, because this is just kind of retreading a thing. But they like to do the little twists on things. I would like to see them do. There's a newer Goblin in Spider-Man called Menace, which I think it was like, it was tied. It was like maybe Harry's girlfriend or Norman's like white. I forgot what the correlation is, but there's some connection there. But I think it would be interesting to maybe kind of do the twist because you're not going to be expecting Norman Osborn. He doesn't have it established. Maybe this is some other Goblin type executive CEO that goes down this route.
Or do you do the Ned Leeds Hobgoblin?
If they could somehow pull that off in like, is there anyone that like hypnotizes that's a Spider-Man villain? And they could just have like a... But like what I'm saying is like, could they have in that opening montage and it's like, oh, and then there was that time that like, whatever the ventriloquist guy, I don't know, like manipulated Ned and then Ned's just full Hobgoblin for like 2 seconds.
Just say it was Agatha.
It was Agatha all along.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah, I mean, listen. Now I'm just thinking, dude, if it's true, and this movie could not have a montage in it that's rumored, right? It couldn't have it at all. If there is a montage where I get to see like Shocker in the suit, perhaps Scorpion in the suit, Tombstone, Tarantula, the Spider Slayer maybe, or
Armadillo.
Armadillo. That would be sick. I gotta tell you, man, I'm of all the stuff that's in it that surprises me. Shocked that there's allegedly zero Matt Murdock, like zero.
Yeah, they can get Florence Pugh, but they can't get the blind guy.
Yeah, they can get the Punisher, but not Matt Murdock. I mean, we got him in No Way Home, fair, but
I want Daredevil. I want Daredevil and Spider-Man, you know?
I want Daredevil and Spider-Man fighting Kingpin so goddamn badly. I want it so badly.
I want Vincent D'Onofrio fighting Peter Parker.
Yes. Yes.
He would kill the boy.
Give it to me, please. Please. Oh, by the way, Thunderbolts comes out on Disney Plus on August 27th.
Oh.
And that's a week from today. And so we'll find out where it takes place in the timeline. That'll be interesting because if I'm not mistaken, because we got into like I'm going off on a tangent, but I promise it has value and is worth it. So, because we were talking about, are they going to bring up the Thunderbolts Void in season 2 of Daredevil Born Again? That was something that we had been discussing. And I was like, well, it really depends because we know that Thunderbolts takes place after Brave New World because they mention the Red Hulk. But does it take place after Daredevil, or is Daredevil like after all that? And hold on, let me pull up the timeline now just to make sure I'm not getting.
I mean, the Void was maybe like 20 minutes. Do we need to harp on that? Like,
no, listen, I'm not saying that you have to.
I think what would bother me would be more of if it takes place after Daredevil, where's Kingpin? Like, there was a lot of stuff that was dealing with the political side of New York and, like, galas and everything like that. And I think the exclusion of Kingpin would then feel a lot more apparent there.
Yeah. So it has Born Again before Brave New World, but I'm wondering if that's both seasons. Like, I'm wondering if season 2 picks up right after season 1. And that story wraps up, and then maybe at the end of season 2 of Born Again, we get on TV that, like, Ross becomes president.
Oh, interesting.
So that way, like, they deal with the Mayor Kingpin thing and all that, and then Thunderbolts happened. I don't know. It doesn't matter at all. I just was just thinking about it.
Okay, if they are doing a montage at the beginning of Spider-Man, do they reference the Void thing? As like
I don't think so.
Throwaway line, like how they did with the blip, where they're just like, you know,
there's like, definitely there's a much higher chance the Void gets referenced in Spider-Man than it does in Daredevil. there's 90.
That's 10. What I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, Kevin Feige, you heard it from his mouth. Will the Void be referenced in Daredevil season 2? No. Anyway, guys. That was the main topic stories. Now we're going to move on to our B-roll section, where these are just little news topics that came out that we didn't have time to dive into fully. But before we do that, I first want to tell you about NordVPN. We are a partner of theirs. We have an affiliate link with them. It's in our description. If you want to sign up for NordVPN using that link, not only do you get protected information and web browsing on the internet, you can feel safe whenever you're at like a hotel or a coffee shop and you want to connect to the Wi-Fi. If you have NordVPN, it'll tell you if the Wi-Fi is safe, and if not, to turn on the VPN, keep your information protected. Also, as a movie and television fan, if you want to watch streaming services from other countries, say that you're from the UK, you're from a country in South America, where they have different shows on different networks for Netflix and etc., do those things. You have unlimited access to the world of streaming. I still need to use my VPN to say I'm in the UK so that I can get BBC iPlayer to watch classic Doctor Who. I still need to do that. I just need time, which I never have. But
you can with NordVPN.
Yes, you can. And I genuinely, I'm not making this up. I use NordVPN every day. I use it every day. Very, very great service. And it's incredibly discounted with our link. Please click it, check it out, and consider becoming a NordVPN user. With that down, let's now dive into the B-roll, Nicholas. First up is one of those things that makes you go, you know what? Fuck yeah. And that is this. Justin Long and Kate Bosworth are teaming up for a horror comedy called Coyotes. Fuck yeah. I'm down. Anything Justin Long, I'm down. Any viewers of this show know this. They know this about me. Big fan of this. Now, I could be completely wrong about this. Is Kate Bosworth who he's married to?
I have no idea.
Because if not, I apologize deeply. But regardless...
Justin Long is married to Kate Bosworth.
Okay, so I was wondering, like, the story was much cooler because it's a couple doing it together. So yes, they're doing Coyotes. There's not that many details about the movie, other than it's just a horror comedy series, or just a horror comedy, excuse me. That is enough to excite me alone. Thoughts? Oh, I lost your audio. Come on back. Don't worry, guys. We'll get them. Speak.
I'm speaking words.
We got you. We can hear you.
So there's allegedly a plot on IMDb.
Okay.
And that is that trapped in their Hollywood Hills home, a family fights for survival when caught between a raging wildfire and a pack of savage coyotes. Big if true.
Absolutely. If that's the plot, that's amazing.
And we just got a wonderful Justin Long appearance in the movie Weapons. What a pleasant surprise there.
Yes, that was so awesome.
I like when couples, I say I like when couples work together in movies like this. I still have not seen Together, which I very much want to do with Alison Brie and Dave Franco.
I really want to watch it.
Justin Long in movie, I go watch movie.
Correct. Next up on the B-roll, I didn't even know this was happening, let alone that
I had no idea, and I've been so excited.
Same. Super Troopers 3 has begun filming with Broken Lizard. Super Troopers 2 had no right being as funny as it was. Like, I love the first movie. I went to the second movie just because I thought it was cool that they, like, crowdfunded it and that it was going to be, like, a fun time. It's really funny, dude. Like, whenever I kick something, I still go, Pele, every time I kick something.
The Pele joke is and just decking the guy in the head with the soccer ball. But the lead up into that, when he just arrives and says, I hit a moose going 90, vaporized the biatch, sees the soccer ball, just goes Pele and kicks it. I love the Broken Lizard. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Broken Lizard. I watched all of Tacoma FD because they were involved in it. That was an effort, but I got through it. But I wanted to support them, and my support me watching Tacoma FD is directly correlated to Super Troopers 3 happening.
Good.
That's what I'm going with to justify watching it.
Yes. I'm excited for Super Troopers 3. I will be watching it in theaters. If it comes out in theaters, hopefully. Next up, now earlier I had mentioned that I made you add the Dafne Keen joining Percy Jackson to the show. You made me add this to the show, and you asked me to let you have the floor for this, so I'm going to do that. Netflix has announced a new series called House of Guinness. Nick, the floor is yours.
I love the Guinness brand of beer. Harp, Smittix, Guinness, their textbook band. I went to the Guinness factory in Ireland last year. I have a certificate for how to pour a Guinness. I am a certified Guinness pourer.
Hell yeah.
I love this brand. I love their beers. I also love the show Peaky Blinders. And Cillian Murphy, obviously that whole crew. I love the tone of the series. I love the way it's written. I love the way it's directed. And it's written and created by a man named Stephen Knight. Stephen Knight has also written a ton of other stuff. He has a few projects that are pending. He has the Peaky Blinders movie that he's working on as well currently. He is now behind this show, House of Guinness, which is about when the head of the Guinness factory, the family, dies, and the company and the business goes to his children. Sign me all the way the fuck up. The poster tagline is "Trouble is Brewing." I mean, you can't come. You're giving me a show about Guinness, written by the guy who created Peaky Blinders, with a tagline like that. Netflix, I'm going to make my Netflix account finally for we can email them for House of Guinness. This just became. There's not even a trailer for it yet. It is my most anticipated show this year. I'm so excited for it.
I'm so happy for you.
It just sounds amazing. I'm gonna be so sad if it sucks.
Listen,
but it's just one of those stories that just checked every box. As I was like uncovering more, like in our text chain with each other, I was just like, "Yo, what a rad concept for a show!" And then just Stephen Knight is writing this, followed by Trouble is Brewing. I'm very excited.
As you should be. I'm excited for you. I can't wait to watch it with you. Speaking of Netflix, let's give a quick applause for the fact that Frankenstein's getting a limited theatrical release. It is just limited because we can't have everything nice, but I am glad that they are giving the film a theatrical release. You bet your ass, bro, I'm gonna be there for that. Not only
theater in New York it'll play in.
Yeah, right. I'll do it if I have to. I will do it if I have to. But yeah, nothing really to add there other than Frankenstein's getting theatrical. I love Guillermo del Toro. I will be there, regardless of where and when and how. This next one does make me a little bit sad because we had talked about Marvel Zombies on the show recently, and we noticed that Blade was going to be in that show, which gave us the quick glance at each other of, yo, does Mahershala Ali voice Blade in this? Like, does it happen? And unfortunately, it does not. Mahershala Ali does not voice Blade in the upcoming Marvel Zombies. Do you have who does voice him?
Yes, it's an actor, I believe just fully a voice actor named Todd Williams.
Todd Williams, okay.
But do you know what's more upsetting about this?
What's that?
It's Blade Knight. It's Blade and Moon Knight mixed together for this. Blade is the fist of Khonshu. Do you know how fucking rad that is?
That's so cool.
And I'm not entirely convinced that Mahershala Ali will end up playing Blade when that movie comes if they don't really get their ass into production soon. So I was just sad because I thought it would have been really funny if we've only ever had Mahershala Ali voicing Blade because he had a little brief voice in Eternals, and then just doing this I thought would have just been really funny because also Blade Knight, Moon Knight isn't really Blade. I mean, it is Blade, but I think that would have just been a fun variation of it.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on here, was it Variety who made this list?
I think it was Hollywood Reporter.
A big trade made a list ranking the best wrestlers turned actors, and without surprise, Dave Bautista was named number 1. I fully agree with this. Although John Cena was ranked 3rd behind The Rock, I would put John Cena above The Rock. Now, maybe not 10 years ago, maybe not 20 years ago, but now I think that time has come. Now, granted, I haven't seen The Smashing Machine yet, so maybe The Rock fucking absolutely kills that performance, and then he's back at number 2. But I fully agree with Dave Bautista's placement as number 1. That's something you've been preaching for a long time.
I have, yeah. I think that The Rock makes the great crowd popcorn blockbuster movies. I do enjoy The Rock movies. John Cena, I was always kind of mixed on, but then I thought he's excellent in the role as Peacemaker. I thought he was really fun in Bumblebee, and I've liked his other appearances of stuff that he's been in. He had a brief cameo on The Bear. John Cena, I think, might be the funniest of them all. But when you're talking down to the dramatics of it, I think Dave Bautista's unmatched with his dramatic work. And Cena has a few moments in Peacemaker that he nails the dramatics for, but just time and time again, Bautista just crushes it, in my opinion.
No, I agree. And it's a very small role, but a very impactful one that really made me look at Dave Bautista and go, yo, okay, we're on this level. And it's his really little role in Blade Runner 2049. He's
tiny glasses.
So good in that. And he's in the movie for 5 minutes. He's so good in it. But yes, thought that was interesting. Another interesting thing, for fans of Riverdale, maybe, I don't know how like Riverdale it's going to be, but there's a new Archie Comics movie in development. I believe it's going to be, I don't remember if it's going to be animated or live action, but I do know that the Lord and Miller are going to be producing the film, which is very exciting. We love them. We love them here. Any thoughts on Archie movies coming? Are you excited?
No, I think it would be really funny if they just cast them again.
I just love you started with no.
No. I hope they just cast them again, live action or animated. I think that would just be funny. Just put them in a tonally different thing.
Yeah. Listen, those comics are fun. They're fun. This one actually happened either yesterday or early this morning, and I wanted to include it as part of the show because we were talking about Paramount making a bunch of big moves. They just made a 7-figure deal for an R-rated comedy film that will most likely go into movie theaters. That's really exciting. And the deal in the article, I believe I think it was Deadline or might have been Variety. The article basically goes on to say that this is a life-changing deal for the writer of the script. And it's like, that's awesome. Like, that's so cool that they're spending this much on an R-rated comedy movie. And I hope that it comes out in a theater, and I hope it does well. Naked Gun's been doing well. Some other comedies have been doing well. So I'm hoping that that's the case.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of kind of the mid-budget comedy movies making a comeback. They've all, they are sporadic, but they all have been doing better than we would have anticipated or projected, and I think anyone would have anticipated or projected. So I think it makes sense that we hopefully start seeing more studios invest in comedies and getting them back into theaters.
No, for sure. This next one, I believe it's the last B-roll before we get to Off the Reel. Yes.
It is. Real quick, though, I am getting a text from my girlfriend, my better half. Mm-hmm. And this is in reference to the Dave Bautista article here. So for those that may not know, my girlfriend is the biggest fan of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And I just get a text that says, "The Rock is by far the best. The Rock is number one on the field and number one in our hearts."
I mean, that's an amazing thing to say. Honestly. Disagree. But it's an amazing thing to say. Lost your audio again. Come on back. There he is.
Happily eat my words if The Rock gets nominated for an Oscar for Smashing Machine.
And listen, I think it could happen because I think it's going to be Safdie versus Safdie this year, dude. I think it's going to be Timothée Chalamet versus Dwayne Johnson. One Safdie versus the other Safdie for even director, maybe. Like, that's going to be a fun Oscars.
If this gets messy with the brothers, how many years until we get the movie about that?
Oh, dude.
About the Safdie versus Safdie.
Yes, that'd be sick.
That they star in and direct together again.
Yes, that would be sick as hell.
I'm very interested to see which, like, I'll bring this because we just watched Honey Don't, directed by, I think it's Ethan Coen did that one. And you very quickly, between watching this and watching The Tragedy of Macbeth, directed by the other Coen brother, you know which one was in charge of writing the quirky, great characters and which one was directing. If there's a very clear, like, divide with the Safdies as well.
Yeah, I'm curious. Because both trailers look great. Both look really great.
Yep.
So, we'll see. This last B-roll came just kind of out of press for A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey that Margot Robbie's on. And she kind of just quickly let slip as she was talking about DC stuff, because someone, of course, asked if she's going to come back as Harley Quinn. She sidestepped that, but they were talking about the other projects like Birds of Prey, and she mentioned, because Colin Farrell's in that movie with her, and she goes, "Oh, by the way, the Penguin was supposed to be the villain in Birds of Prey, but Matt Reeves had told us, hey, I'm using the Penguin for my thing," and we were like, "Oh, no problem," so we made a black mask. I thought that was interesting, and I just wanted to bring it up. Listen, I'm going to say it. People shit on Birds of Prey. I don't give a fuck. I like that movie. I have such a good time with Birds of Prey. I don't care what anybody says.
Ewan McGregor crushes it as Sam Rockwell playing Black Mask.
Oh my God.
Because you can tell that's who they wrote that for. I actually have a lot of interesting thoughts on this, at least that I think are interesting. It's
Go
more
on.
just ramblings and musings, as is my nature. A while back, around the time of Birds of Prey, Josh Gad was posting a bunch of cryptic teases on Instagram relating to DC. Do you think that he was maybe in early talks to be the Penguin in that movie?
100%. I think you're 100% onto something with that.
I think that's that. Also, this is going to be such a nitpicky thing. And I think they would have done it now, especially as you can now have kind of multiple versions of a character running along. Kind of side by side with all the Jokers that we had and the Batmans we're going to be having. I'm kind of sad that the villain for Birds of Prey wasn't a bird.
You know what? Fair.
That's just such a nice little bow where you're just like, yeah, Penguin should be the villain in Birds of Prey, shouldn't he?
Listen, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
Just the symmetry of that levels my mind out in a way that I wish that it happened. Also, Josh Gad would have been a really good Penguin.
For Birds of Prey, absolutely.
For Birds of Prey. Oh, yeah. Colin Farrell's absolutely incredible with what Matt Reeves is doing. Yes. And I think that was the better choice between the two. I'm happy we have Colin Farrell's Penguin. Mm-hmm. Josh Gad, Birds of Prey Penguin. I see the vision.
I do.
As Martin Scorsese says.
I do as well. All right, guys. It's time for the fun part of the show, an hour and 20 yen, where we just throw out a topic and then argue about stuff. So this, of course, is called Off the Reel. The first one up is something that a lot of people would say has already occurred if they're haters, but I wanted to throw it to us because we're not haters. Nick, what will be the DCU's first mistake?
I will let you go first.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't have my answer yet.
The DCU is the current cinematic universe for DC, which includes Creature Commandos, Superman, and what's currently just started airing, Peacemaker Season 2. It has Lanterns coming out next year, the show. It has Supergirl coming out next year, the movie, as well as Clayface, the movie, which is also, I think, coming out at the end of next year, if I'm not mistaken. They're also actively developing a ton of other projects. We almost had a Sergeant Rock movie before it kind of fell through. We might still get it, but who knows? They're working on Wonder Woman and Booster Gold and all that stuff. James Gunn said he's writing the next Superman thing as well. Off to a good start so far. Superman's made about $600 million worldwide, which we'll get to in a minute with the box office. But I would argue, in my personal opinion, sorry, I saw something funny in the live chat. That's why I paused. I'll get to that in a minute. But I think so far, and it's early, we have one movie in, right? One show and one episode of a show. So far, I think the DCU has been a success. Granted, it's early. I think it's been a success so far. But eventually, the pendulum comes around and something happens where something gets a little messed up. And for Marvel, for the MCU, it didn't happen for a while. I would think, yeah, you got your Iron Man 2s and your Thor 2s and stuff, but you could see the vision as it was going, right? So you kind of let those slide. It wasn't until post-Endgame when you started getting a bunch of TV shows that were dipping in quality as they went on, and movies that you're like, why did they make this? Where I thought that the big mistake, the big first MCU mistake they made was the quantity over quality approach. Although I'd argue maybe their first mistake was losing Edgar Wright on Ant-Man, but I think they corrected that. But going back to the DCU, what do I think their first mistake will be? I think the DCU's first mistake is going to be not having a cohesive plan for a Justice League movie. Now, I'm not saying that you have to necessarily be building up to Justice League. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I don't think you have to do it quickly, like last time. I don't think you have to wait a certain number of years to get there. But with the movies that have been coming out and what's been announced, and I could be completely wrong about this, right? But it doesn't seem like there's a cohesive plan to get the Justice League as a movie, which I think should be something you focus on. I'm not saying, again, it doesn't have to be soon, it doesn't have to be a certain number of years, but I should be able to see the vision for what it is. And while I definitely see the vision of this world that James Gunn did in Superman, I see the vision of the world. I don't yet see the vision of where the world is going. And that is where I'm at. So I'm thinking the DCU's first mistake might be not properly planning how to do the Justice League. That's my thought. And again, I'm not saying that will be the mistake. That's what I think the mistake will be. I hope I'm proven wrong, and I hope there is a plan and that it blows me away.
I like that.
Your thoughts, Nicholas?
I think that I'm gonna kind of tie it in with what you said about Marvel and their quantity over quality output. What I do want to give Marvel credit for is that they were not overreactionary in that time. They said, "This is what we made. This is what we're doing. We're gonna kind of just trudge through it, and we'll hope we get out the other side." And we're starting to see that with your Lokis, with your Thunderbolts, with your Daredevil Born Again season 1. I thought Fantastic Four was a big win as well, and we'll see how Doomsday plays out. But I think that they were in the mud and they just kind of kept walking and got out of it. Warner Brothers has always been very reactionary, especially when it comes to the DC movies. So I think that the first mistake is that when they have their first mistake, and mistake be maybe a movie that doesn't perform as well, maybe it's not critically as well received, I think they're going to overreact. And I think that's going to cause some tension with the studio and James Gunn, who's obviously in charge of the studio. But I think there's going to be some friction there, and I could see them kind of overreacting and trying to course correct something that doesn't need to be course corrected.
I think you might be onto something there, especially because DC Studios is its own thing now. But that doesn't mean that Papa Zaslav can come knocking on the door and say whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. And I think they could be in a situation where that happens. I think that's not impossible at all. I think that's not impossible at all.
James Gunn's very outspoken on social media. He's very open with issues. So I think depending on how he reacts to the first big criticism, first big failure, I think will be very interesting to see.
Yes, and
I hope they don't have any failures, but I feel like it's inevitable,
As someone who is a massive fan of James Gunn, so annoying that he's on social media that much. It drives me crazy. Honestly, I'm like, bro, go run the studio. That's honestly what I feel whenever I see him
that's
Threads.
What Peter's doing. Peter's running it.
Exactly, but
No, listen, I think he's a great personality, but I think he's gonna need to start learning the lesson of the information, the reservedness of Kevin Feige with what he reveals as information. And I get he's starting the universe. He wants to get out of it. There's going to be a lot of interconnectivity. There's questions about the canon of everything. So I think it is good that he's being upfront and vocal about that now. But I think he can't be teasing too much. They've already canceled a few projects just because the script weren't ready. We don't need that information, behind the scenes issue. It gets very inside baseball very quick. Yeah. And if you're a general population, that news doesn't reach you. Just go see the movie and call it a day.
I can see that. I can see that for sure. Guys, what do you think the DCU's first mistake is going to be? Let us know in the comments. I got a few from Morgan Bernard that I want to pull up here.
Could also be just not making Robert Pattinson's Batman in the universe.
Yeah. Some people are going to see that as a mistake from doing it. Some people mistake from not doing it.
Yeah.
It could turn out to be either, whatever decision they make. Morgan Bernard, when I said initially what was the DCU's first mistake, Morgan Bernard says it already happened. Superman, certified hater. She also mentioned hiring James Gunn. He's out of touch with the general population. I would say the box office of every Guardians movie and Superman disagree with that. Now, the Suicide Squad's box office was low, but let's also remember that was, one, in the middle of COVID, and two, when they put all the movies on HBO Max at the same time. So a lot of people just stayed home and watched it. And the viewership numbers for Peacemaker Season 1, I know HBO Max has only been a streaming service for a couple of years. I believe it's still in the top 10, maybe even top 5, most popular shows HBO Max ever had. So I don't know about that, but, not everyone loves James Gunn, that's for sure. And she agrees with you, very inside baseball, which I do agree that can eventually become an issue with that.
Well, especially too with how I appreciate how interconnected everything is. Mm-hmm. But you also have to give some projects the room to breathe outside of that.
For sure. For sure. And I think the reason, going back to my Justice League issue, I think the reason why I feel this strongly about Justice League is because James Gunn is so outspoken about everything and has not brought it up. Yeah. That's why. Like, if he was reserved like Feige, I wouldn't even be worrying about it, because I'd be like, oh, of course they're going to build up to that. But since he talks about everything and does not bring this up, that's where I'm like, okay, what is the situation with this?
Yeah, it's like what is going on? Like, is he trying to just build up to an end game without having the Avengers movies in there?
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
Yeah.
Nicholas, I'm actually going to skip the second one because I'm going to save that for another episode.
Okay.
Because I'm going to get to this last one. This last one came from me being in a bad mood one day, and I just kept seeing stories and being reminded of stories of just stupid shit happening with movies. And so that prompted this to be made. And that question is, will the industry ever recover from stupid leadership? More specifically, will the film industry ever recover from stupid leadership? The reason I bring this up is because when you talk about, Nicholas, when you talk about the things that have really hurt and affected the film industry recently, what comes to mind?
Day and date, streaming, not prioritizing theatrical, spending way too much money on movies, not shelling out enough mid-budget movies to make your money back because that's where the money is. Any number of things. David Zaslav shelving movies for tax write-offs.
And the strikes. So, COVID and the strikes, that 1-2 punch of back-to-back bullshit really fucking hurt the film industry. To the point where, I don't know if you saw, I think it was Hollywood Reporter did an article talking to Hollywood executives just about the state of the industry. And basically, there's a running understanding around every studio of saying $800 million is the new billion. Meaning, if your film hits $800 million, they celebrate as if it's hit $1 billion. Now, $800 million is still a good feat regardless. Let's not undercut that. But the fact that the box office has fallen off so much to the point of like, we're going to take $800 million and celebrate as if that was $1 billion is not good. That's not a good sign. And especially when you consider 2019 was one of the biggest box office years ever. If you ever look at 2019 and how much money was made at the box office that year, it's absolutely batshit crazy. Now, that's where we were. And 2020, even without COVID, was always not going to be as high as 2019 just because of all the event films that 2019 had. But it showed audiences were loving going to the movies at the time. Now, COVID happens. Obviously an unprecedented event that affected many industries. What did the fucking movie studios do? I'm going to get angry. I just know this. You can dive back on this very channel where I was reporting on stuff during COVID of the decisions that the movie studios were making. I look great, by the way. I'm like 40 pounds lighter. I have black hair. Looks awesome. But it started off as, oh, Universal makes a deal with AMC that they're going to shorten the theatrical window to 17 days. I made a video at the time. Guys, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? I know that shit seems bad right now, and it doesn't seem like it will ever end, but it will. Have faith. It will end. We're going to get out of this. And when we do, you've just done something that can't be undone. Like, the studios are not going to go back to 90 days when this happens. Now, not only was it stupid on the movie industry from the studio, it was stupid of AMC. It was stupid of the movie theaters. It was so aggravating when that happened. Now, the idea of shortening the theatrical window when a movie's doing really poorly has always existed. That's always been a thing. Why make it on paper to do whatever, right? Some people look at that and say, oh, Dalton, you're just not adjusting to the fact that physical media is dying, which is true, unfortunately, and that people prefer to watch things online. Even if it's before streaming, the new DVD sale is the available for digital purchase window. Okay. It doesn't make as much as you think it does unless it's a huge fucking movie like Wicked. I know Wicked did really well on PVOD, but it also did really well in theaters, which is what kicked it to do well on PVOD. It didn't just happen for no reason. Anyway, so you have that. You have that happens. Other studios and other theaters follow suit. Then on top of that, you got the HBO Max fucking debacle where they put everything day and date, which I will always bring up as one of the dumbest fucking things that any studio has ever done in the history of running a studio ever. Holy fuck, that was stupid. So stupid that Christopher Nolan wrote an op-ed in a trade saying, what did he say? A ton of filmmakers went to bed thinking they worked for the best movie studio only to wake up finding out they worked for the worst streaming service. If Christopher Nolan says that about you, I'm running away and changing my name. Like, are you kidding me? Then Denis Villeneuve writes an op-ed because Dune 1 was coming out and just said, hey, what the fuck, you guys? Not only did you screw over all of my cast and crew who took pay cuts based on theatrical performance so we could get this movie financed and made, but also Legendary Pictures, the production company, made a deal with you about a certain revenue from theater profits that you didn't negotiate when you made this issue. And what happened? Legendary is going to another studio now. Like, all of this happened. Then you have Disney taking all of the Pixar movies and putting them onto streaming. That's never recovered, with the exception of Inside Out 2, maybe. You trained your audience. Don't worry about it. Don't come to the theater. Just stay home. On your biggest profit-sharing thing, fucking box office. Don't worry about it. We all want to have a streaming service and be on top for that. Hey, they don't make any money. We'll figure it out. Guess what? They didn't fucking figure it out. They never figured it out. We have ads now. Great. No one uses them. It's no one does it.
It's just as expensive as cable now. With
yes.
This, right? With all the different streaming services.
That's all you've done. That's all you've created. And then, with how damaging that was to the studios, how movie theaters almost went bankrupt until a meme stock saved AMC, least we forget. Theaters are back open. Yes, one studio decided to put things day and date, whatever. But then the SAG and WGA contracts were up, and you fucking let them go to strike before making a deal that lasted almost a goddamn year? What the fuck, you guys? It's like they're killing themselves. And then they have the gall to come out and say things like, yeah, you know, the mid-budget movie's dead. You killed it! You told people to stay home and not go to the movie theater. And then when you put the movie in theaters, you don't pay to market the movie, so nobody fucking knows about the movie. And then when they're like, oh, it flopped, we don't know what happened. Yes, you do. You didn't fucking do anything to help the movie succeed at all. And then they put movies on streaming for $200 million fucking dollars, and they're like, huh, we lost money on that. No shit, you lost money on that. How were you going to make money on that? I'm so mad that my camera died. Nick, I'm cutting to you. You know what? That was a divine intervention telling me to fucking calm down. That's all that was.
A lot of divine intervention going on at your house today.
I know. I think you get the point that I'm trying to make, which is, will the industry ever recover from stupid leadership? Not fully. I think that there are going to be some smart people that eventually come in. I'm hoping that's Paramount. I'm hoping that's what Paramount is now. I hope that movie theaters don't become what vinyl has become, which is they'll keep making them, but we know how small the audience is now.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about that. And will the industry ever recover fully from stupid leadership? No. But I do think that people and moviegoers will save it. I'm throwing it over to you now. Thoughts, my friend, as I fix my battery?
I mean, I think it is going to recover. It's had a lot of setbacks, but we are seeing a lot more positive box office performance lately. We're seeing a lot of, yes, your Minecraft movies are still making $1 billion, but you're seeing movies like Sinners, you're seeing movies like Weapons, these original studio films that are making a lot of money, which I think is finally giving a lot of studios the wake up call of just invest in good people, invest in good stories, invest in good writers, invest in good directors, and the people will go to see it if it's good. Word of mouth is still unmatched. Word of mouth got Everything Everywhere All at Once an Oscar from a January release, a February release, which is a generational run to be winning Best Picture. And I think that a lot of stupid decisions have been made. You have movies being shelved, you have the day and date release, you have the streaming release, you have studios saying that they are designing content to be the second screen because they know that your phone is the first screen. But I think this is just a momentary blip. I think it's going to take a lot of time to recover, but I think you're going to start to see new leadership taking place. You're going to start to see things moving in a much more positive direction as they start hiring the right people in the right position.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
We can really only hope.
I choose to be optimistic in this.
Dude.
There's been a lot of shit, a lot of bad. Everything you said, I fully agree with. But I think that we are going to see the other side of this. And it's also on the theaters, too, to make these agreements, to make these arrangements.
The theaters...
The cost of a movie ticket, the cost of concessions, it's not viable to get a family into that theater for cheap.
Are letting them do this to them.
Yeah.
And they are horrible at self-preservation. You know what the theaters are? The theaters are a fucking dumb toddler that runs toward the stove, and you're like, hey, don't do that. Trust me, you don't want to touch that. It's going to burn you. You're going to cry about it, and it's going to be a whole thing. Don't do that. Don't add 30 minutes of trailers. Don't put commercials in between your trailers, and don't lie to your consumers about what you can and cannot do. Don't do that. Don't touch the stove. Then they touch the stove. It burns them, they cry about it, it becomes a thing. But unlike toddlers, they keep touching the fucking stove. And it's like, what the fuck? We told you not to touch it. You burned yourself once. You keep burning yourself. That's enough.
It's just that with the theaters, it does not seem like there is the long-term strategy.
And you know what the studios are? The studios are the older sibling going, hey, go touch it again.
Yeah. No, it's exactly what they are. But the movie theaters got hit just as hard with all of this. And I think that the theaters are more concerned of how do we keep our doors open tomorrow, not how are we successful 5 years from now. And I think they need to start looking at the bigger vision down the line, not just how can we keep our doors open this week.
Dude, when you mentioned the second screen thing, I remember when that report came out where like someone anonymously, obviously, said that they got notes from Netflix saying that it needs to be, the thing they're writing needs to be more second screen friendly. I remember hearing that, and I almost disassociated. I was just like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. That like that, like that's just soul crushing. Like, if I was ever in that position, which I'll probably never write anything that good to get into that position to even get a note from Netflix, let's be very clear. But if I was ever in that position and I got that note, that might be the thing where I think I'm just going to pack it up. I think we're just done. What do you do at that point, you know? Anyway, guys. Do you think the film industry will ever recover from stupid leadership? Let us know in the comments as we move on to the box office.
The box office. What a great transition from that last question.
Yeah.
Speaking of box office and theaters.
Yes. Oh, shit, dude, I didn't look at this. You ready for this, guys? I got it right.
You needed this win today.
I needed it so bad, especially the power going out, everything going wrong with the show, me getting reminded that the industry's fucking killing itself. I needed this win. So thank you, everyone, for giving me the confidence to accurately predict last week. You almost had it. You just swapped 2 and 3.
Yeah, you're close. I guess I got a little too overzealous with how much I liked Nobody too.
Listen, I wish it would have done better. So, as you saw in the little chart there, let's pull it up here for the box office. Weapons came in first in its second week, dropping only 44%, making $24.4 million. Freakier Friday came in second, dropping exactly 50% from week 1 to week 2, making $14.2 million. Nobody 2 opened to $9 million, which is obviously lower than they wanted it to in its opening weekend. Fantastic Four made $9 million in its fourth week. The Bad Guys 2 came in fifth, making $7.5 million. Superman came in 6th with 5, Naked Gun in 7th with 4, Jurassic World in 8th with 2. Now let's dive into these numbers a little bit more, shall we? Weapons, dude, on a budget of $38 million has made 172 worldwide, and 100 of that is domestic. It has crossed the 100 million domestic point. Great for Zach Kreger and the studio for that, Warner Brothers. 4.5 times the budget already, and it's going to keep making money. It's going to keep going for a little bit longer there. That is an awesome success. What was that?
Very well deserved. Well deserved.
100%. Now listen, don't take your eyes off Freakier Friday. It is now at 93 million worldwide. This was going to be a Disney Plus movie, if you remember, going back to our previous conversation. It was made on a production budget of $42 million. It's at 2.2. This will be profitable easily by next week. Going to be a big win for Disney there. Happy for everyone involved, especially
do you think that's
Lindsay
gonna
Lohan.
have a lot of legs? Like, I don't think this is going to be the billion, like, should have been on Disney Plus to $1 billion, but, like, this is going to be a moneymaker. But do you think it's good? We're going to see it kind of sticking around and making money for quite some time?
Well, I don't know what else is in the family market coming out all of September and the rest of August. It could. It could. We'll have to see how it does. Nobody 2 now has 19 million worldwide total. It was made on a budget of 25, so that's a modest budget, but it's only at 0.8 times that budget so far. It'll probably be at a little over 1.5, hopefully by next weekend. I'm hoping that it doesn't take a huge drop. That would be nice, but we're going to have to see at the end of the day. It does deserve a lot more money. Nobody 2 is a fun movie. Fantastic Four: The First Steps, now at 472 million worldwide. It's at 2.4, so it's right almost at that break-even point on the $200 million budget. I suspect it'll be at roughly $500 million by next weekend, and then cross that threshold for profitability there for them. Although it should have made more money. It should have made more money. The Bad Guys.
Do you think does that make you nervous for Doomsday at all, or do you think Avengers is just a money winner no matter what?
It doesn't make me that nervous for Doomsday because we still have Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And also, that number 472 is still more than Thunderbolts, still more than Cap 4. So Marvel's going like this.
That's true. That is
and
true.
Thunderbolts comes out, as I mentioned at the top of the show, comes out next Friday on Disney Plus. And I guarantee you, I'm going to sneeze. I feel it coming. Excuse me. Ooh. I can see it on social media already of, damn, this movie's good. I should have watched this in theaters. Damn, this movie's good. I should have watched this in theaters, because we see that happen a lot. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with Thunderbolts, it's going to be in spades. So I think that'll help as well. Going back over to here, Bad Guys 2 has 127 million worldwide on a budget of 80. A little bit high budgets at 1.6. We'll see if it can cross that profit threshold ability soon, but we'll have to see. Superman is at 599, 545. It's going to cross 600 in an hour. So that's where that's at. Production budget 225, 2.7. It's well into its profitability now. Good for them. Naked Gun's at 75 worldwide. I don't have the budget here, but I think if this can get to 100, I would consider that a big win for the studio, especially for a comedy. Jurassic World Rebirth, dude, 833. God damn.
That's basically $1 billion.
Yes, as the studio exec would say. But this should tell you how much life is in that franchise, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, this international number is crazy. 499. That's crazy. Crazy
People
stuff.
like the dinosaurs, and they don't care how shitty the story is.
Yep. F1 the movie now has 596 worldwide, just shy of 600 million. Only 184 of that being domestic. 412 of it. Yeah, 412 of it being international. However, I've heard even without the box office, because the movie was very expensive, it was probably like $300 million. I've heard even without the box office, just the brand deals that they made this movie profitable. So Apple is popping bottles on that one.
What do you think do you think the turnout with the box office, do you think that's F1 fans getting excited and going to theaters, or do you think that's like Brad Pitt star power?
I think the domestic number is Brad Pitt star power. I think the international number is the F1 fans.
And it's a majority of it is international.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That tracks for sure. Just briefly, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the reboot, only made $63 million worldwide, but it was made on a budget of 18. So it made 3.5 times its budget back. That's a little win for horror right there.
It's amazing what can happen when you give something a modest to low budget and
right?
It makes money. Who would have thought?
Yeah. And even though by most standards that's a failure, not for that movie.
Not for that movie. I mean, didn't the same thing just happen with Until Dawn? Like, wasn't that fairly poorly received, and it made like a ton of money because it had a $10 million budget?
Until Dawn was made on a budget of $15 million, and it made 3.3.
There you go. There you go.
Also, do you want to know what this makes me so happy, Nicholas? Do you want to know what quietly snuck up and made just a little bit more money each week, just enough to keep going? Materialists.
Oh, yeah?
Which is a movie that I love. I don't care what anyone says. I love that movie. I think it's excellent.
I agree.
Despite TikTok. On a budget of $20 million. Ended up making 75 total. That's 3.8, baby. Celine Song, let's go.
Good for
let's go.
Good for that group. I like that movie.
I loved it. I genuinely think, as of right now, it's August, there's still time. I genuinely think it's one of the best movies of the year. Honest to God.
No, it's definitely in my top 10 so far. I don't remember the exact placement, but I know it's still in there.
With that, also, just while we're talking about budgets, the fact that the budget for Barbarian was like $4 million or something is crazy. And Invisible Man in 2020 had a $7 million budget. That's crazy.
I mean, when you get directors behind the camera who know what to do and know what they're doing, know what they want, have that clear vision, and can control a budget, you get good results. Like, Barbarian looks a lot more expensive than what it is.
Yeah, it looks way more expensive than what it is. Especially just the whole Airbnb part, like the lighting kit, looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here's Barbarian for you. Ready? $4.5 million budget, $45 million worldwide, 10 times. 10 times the budget.
And again, you're not talking about big numbers here. 40 million's not a lot by any standard, except for that movie. Most movies have a minimum budget of $40 million these days, but
Robert Downey Jr. is getting more than $40 million in salary for Doomsday and Secret
He's getting probably double that.
Yeah.
So, and that's where the profitability goes. But you need your Barbarians to pay for your Robert Downey Jr.'s and Doomsday. Obviously, those are different studios, but...
But he also, Invisible Man, I just got curious and brought it up just because it's a running joke that I really like that movie. I do. $7 million budget. $139 million box office. That's almost 20 times the budget, dude.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy. Last thing, and then we'll do our predictions and get out of here. But I went down a rabbit hole of the fall off of physical media. And here's something I want to show you really quick. By the way, I genuinely think that if they made the Blu-ray available before the digital purchase for like a month or 2 months, that Blu-rays could go back up. But I digress. Just to kind of give you a little taste of, because Matt Damon would also talk about this a lot, of like streaming happening, taking away that physical media option, literally killed a whole revenue section for movies, in that movies used to have extra life on DVD and VHS, where if your movie flopped or was borderline, if you did well on DVD or well on VHS, you were successful. And like you could get sequels greenlit from that.
Yeah.
So here's a good example I wanted to show you. Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, actually, hold on. They don't have the information for that. Let me see if they have one for... I'm trying to do like a recent Marvel movie and then Iron Man. Because let me see if they have the Blu-ray sales here. Okay. Thor: Love and Thunder. The estimated domestic video sales, including Blu-rays and DVDs.
For Thor: Love and Thunder?
Yep.
Okay.
Was $19.6 million.
Okay.
Seems like a lot, right? Iron Man in 2008. Total estimated domestic video sales, including Blu-rays and DVDs, $198 million. $200 million on Blu-ray.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
Like that movie, if Iron Man flopped, which it didn't, it made $584 million worldwide. If Iron Man had flopped, that DVD sale alone saves the MCU. That's crazy to think about, isn't it? That whole revenue of saving your movie is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
I just pulled up some random ones too, just because I was curious. I mean, Man of Steel had 120 with video sales. Went from 667 plus an extra 120. It's over 800 with that. Accountant in 2016, 155 worldwide. Extra 20 million just from DVD sales there. Brought that up. That's crazy.
I mean, if you look at movies from like 2005, that's when it gets like really insane. Like the DVD boom. Like let me try Revenge of the Sith. Hang on.
Oh boy. All of the money.
Let me pull it up here. I didn't show the last ones on the screen. I'll show Revenge of the Sith when I pull it up. All right, Revenge of the Sith. Oh, it doesn't have it. Hold on. Come on, video sales. No, that's not what I want. Damn it.
That might be a hard one to find, especially with it being a Star War and all.
Let me try this.
Why don't you pull up like a Final Destination? That's probably a nutty one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like a... Oh, let's try this. Sorry for the silence, everybody who's watching and listening. I'm trying to pull up movies from around that time.
Yeah, I don't know any.
All right, here you go. The original Avatar.
The Last Airbender?
No. Blue People,
James
Avatar,
Cameron.
2009. The biggest movie of all time in movie history. Domestic video sales alone, $433 million.
And on top of the billion?
On top of the $2.9 billion it made in theaters.
That's crazy.
Hold on, how many DVDs and Blu-rays? I have to do Revenge of the Sith.
So that's over $3 billion, just if you add that in. The Avatar DVD sales have made more money than most movies make today.
Yep.
That's... Never bet against James Cameron.
All right, let's do this. Let's do some math. So I'm looking on Google, and apparently it doesn't have the dollar amount, but it says that Revenge of the Sith sold 5.3 million units in DVD sales, DVD and Blu-rays. So let's do 5,300,000. Give me a price for a DVD in 2005. What do you think? $30? $20?
I have no clue.
Let's say
Blu-rays like $10.
No, at this time they were more expensive. Let's say $25.
Okay.
Because I think DVDs are around 20 and Blu-rays are around 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's $132 million. Yeah.
Money.
But you hear stories of movies too, like even when VHS and Betamax were a thing. Like, one of my Mammal's favorite movies was a movie called Eddie and the Cruisers. Huge theatrical flop, but VHS saved that movie. The Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, VHS took that movie to new heights because it became a banned movie. So everyone tried to buy the VHS.
Wasn't that why
that
like kind
too.
of Evil Dead 2 happened? Was really just kind of as
was because
a
of
result
VHS.
of that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, interesting to think about. But anyway, sorry, I went off on a tangent. We've been going at it for 2 hours. Let's do our predictions and get the fuck out of here.
Oh man, what do we got coming out this week? We had
Honey Don't.
Honey Don't.
Which is not going to make a lot of money.
No. It's kind of really it, right?
Let me see what's just playing at the theater near me.
I really don't think much. If you have anything. I think it might just be a repeat week, to be honest with you.
It may be.
It may be.
Well, yeah, Bad Guys was 7. I don't think Honey Don't's getting to 4.
Do you want to go first or should I?
I'll let you go first.
Oh boy. All right. You know what? I think we're gonna get a little. I think I don't think it's gonna be a repeat. I think there's gonna be some surprising drop-offs. So I'm gonna go Weapons coming in at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Freakier Friday at number 2. I'm gonna go F4 coming in 3.
Okay.
Followed by Nobody 2. Dropping down into 4th place. And then here's what I'm thinking. I'll stick with Bad Guys 2.
Okay.
In 5th. I kind of wanted to put Superman in 5th, but I don't know if Bad Guys. I think Bad Guys might hold over Superman a little bit, another week at least.
That's fair. I'll go with the repeat.
You'll go full repeat?
I'll go full repeat. I don't think that's a bad idea.
All right. I'm marking that down. It's probably the move, but we're gonna take a risk with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We are pretty close, and we do have pretty much the same except for swapping 2, which is where I went wrong last time.
Listen, maybe it's where you go right this time.
You know, that's all we can hope for. Maybe next week I have a shitty week and then I get it all right.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's a correlation between how bad our week is and how many we get right at the box office.
If your week just starts going to shit on Monday, starting early, just know that you got the box office in the bag.
Like all 5 are right. I know it.
Last box office thing before we go, just because we're over 2 hours and it's late and fuck it, I don't care who I make upset. Did you hear about Americana?
I did not.
So Americana is the new Sydney Sweeney film that also has Paul Walter Hauser, and it opened to 1,100 theaters, which isn't fully wide. Like fully wide is like 3,000 to 4,000 theaters, but 1,100 is not nothing. Like that's it's not quite limited, not quite wide. It's in the middle. Made on a budget of $9 million. Lionsgate, or I don't remember if it's Lionsgate, so I don't want to put that in the universe, but the company that distributed the movie is refusing to report the box office numbers. And an independent company looked at it and they're like, yeah, it made about $500,000.
Whoopsie.
Which is a massive flop. But you have some trades running stories like, this isn't a flop, this is a niche indie opportunity. Would you be saying that if it starred an all-black cast? I don't think so. So, do with that information what you will. But if Sydney Sweeney's in the lead, it's a niche play, right? I'm angry at the world. I don't know if you can tell.
I'm actually shocked that number's not higher, just given all the controversy that happened.
Well, it just goes to show you that it's all bullshit. Like it's not real people.
When you have these like religious movies going into theaters and all these like Republicans flock to the theaters, like I was shocked that this wasn't one that was like boosted by
the controversy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, same. Now, granted, it's 1,100 theaters, and it's not going to be in a lot of theaters in the middle of the country where probably a lot of the, pro-controversy people are at. But something else that I want to point out, though, before I go, I don't hate Sydney Sweeney. I thought her performance in Immaculate was fucking awesome. And I thought the fact that she auditioned for that movie, the movie fell apart because of financing, then she got famous, bought the rights to the movie, produced it, and then starred in it is fucking cool. That's so cool. I don't think the movie deserves to flop, She finds herself in the midst of an unfortunately controversial campaign that I think is kind of being blown out of proportion on many different angles. But I just wanted to point out, I'm just saying that when a movie flops hard with white leads, the race isn't brought up as to why it flopped. That's all I'm saying.
Because that was the whole thing with wasn't people, it was the framing of Sinners box office, and that was gangbusters at it's one of the best performing original movies ever.
Yes. And the initial report was it's going to struggle to break even. Bitch, that movie made $365 million worldwide on a budget of 90. It made 4 times its budget.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off.
And it did it quickly.
Yes. And
it did not struggle to get that at all.
I just clicked out of it. Let me see if I can go back. You want to know how much of it was domestic? 278. That's a fucking crazy number for an original movie nowadays. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Anyway, it's getting late. we should go before our brains go into crazier places. Oh, Nick.
We did it. We got another one in the bag.
Thanks for doing this show with me.
Yeah.
Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.